Yeah. So the first fly I'm going to tie is the fly I call it's the ruby-eyed leech that I use a lot, and it's I've got it tied on a 10 3X hook, and I had added a 1/8 inch copper cone head, followed up by a medium silver-lined red or maroon glass bead that I bump up against the cone head. And readily available materials include the Stillwater Solutions materials that Phil and I have out in the dubbing blends, and then another commonly ones that I brought just that I had in my bag here are these ones that are semi-seal, you see here. And I like, one of the ones I really like to take is the red Arizona semi-seal and the black-red semi-seal, and mix the two together, and you end up with a deepish maroony red dubbing. And I've pre-made these on a copper wire dubbing brush, so I just made up the dubbing brush. This fly works. The original ruby-eyed leech was tied on the black-red semi-seal, and I continue to use that as one of my go-to patterns. But I've been playing around with just mixing the two, and it's a very simple pattern to tie, and extremely effective. So this is as big as the hook I'll put them on, and I'll tie it on I'll go down even to a 10 2X hook as well. So we just need to put a bit of a tail of them. I use just on when I'm tying this one with the mix 50-50 blend. I like the tail. I like to put a little bit darker, so I just use some of the original material for the tail. So I'm just going to put some of that in there. Tail. So don't need a lot, and then I'll just take my dubbing brush that I made up, tied in just behind the bead. So the wire core not only adds strength to the fly, but it adds a little bit more weight to the fly as well. And it's pretty simple, but it's the color combination that...
So you don't use any balanced leeches, Brian?
I do, but I tie balanced leech, and I have this fly tied balanced, but you know, it's just very effectively just this way, not even doing it balanced. So
you dub that onto wire?
Yeah, so I used a turbo dubbing block and put it on the wire. Copper wire, just red copper wire. And then, so I fish this pattern a lot, all times of the year, but it's very, very effective in the spring when the chironomids are hatching. As a dessert item, chironomids love to eat a couple of leeches after a heavy chironomid feed. And so when the chironomid hatches thin out late in the afternoon, fish a leech under an indicator or fish it on a naked line. And this color combination is very, very effective late in the fall. You know, maroon, black maroon are very good color combinations. So then I'm just using a wire brush, or you can use a Velcro hook to pull the material out. So
how are you fishing it, Brian?
I fish this. How I fish it is typically under an indicator. I like to wind drift them under an indicator. So if you've watched some of the shows, well, almost all the shows I do on TV, especially with Fresky or doesn't matter who, and we're fishing indicators and leeches, which we do a lot. I'll always, if the wind isn't heavy, I'll always cast into the wind. So I'm throwing indicator, swivel, and this leech into the wind, and then straight into the wind, and then just maintaining a tight line as the indicator drifts back to me. So that is the ultimate and drag-free drift back to the boat. That fly's tied on with a non-slip loop knot, and it's just going like this in the water with the wind. Now we're not doing this in a 6-inch whitecap chop. It's just that gentle breeze that you can easily cast into the wind. It's a deadly, deadly way to fish leeches. It's much, in my mind, it's much better than casting straight downwind and then making that fly move by doing some kind of a retrieve. Let it drift back to you naturally. Does everybody understand that? So right into the wind, dead drift back. Just got to maintain a tight line. So
You do the same depth as you do when you're condiment fishing?
I'll fish
start at the bottom?
Start at the bottom, yeah. So so this fly, it's kind of got a pretty wild hairdo right now. So you take, and you notice it's not, when you look at this fly up close, it's not tied thick, it's very sparse. So you get more movement with the material when it's sparse. So I'll tie up half a dozen of these, depending what the score is, and then I'll take a little measuring cup, like a 1 cup measuring Pyrex club, put about an inch of water in it, put it in the microwave, get the water just boiling, and then drop the flies in there, and then just fish them out. Just leave them in for 4 or 5 seconds, and the just boiling water will take the memory out of the mohair, and then you comb it again while it's wet with your brush, and when they dry, all the material will lay flat, or 90% flat, but it'll breathe when it's in the water and then come back down flat. Okay, so it's kind of looking hairy right now, and it fishes much better when it's got a little bit of the curl taken out of it. So you can use that hot water on anything synthetic. It'll and even seal's fur, because we used to tie out of seal's fur a lot, our leeches, many years ago before the good synthetics came, and that's when we first started using it. That's what Jack Shaw showed me how to do, is to put them in boiling water and it'll take the memory out of it. Okay. So you can tie these ruby-eyed style leeches in, olive, brown, it doesn't matter, white greens. But if I only had the one color to choose, colors to choose from, it'd be the black red or dubbed and mixed in with the red. Red stuff. Even this color itself is even quite effective. So there's lots of different materials out there that will imitate or are similar to this type of dubbing. So very simple pattern, but very, very effective. And remember, you're always fishing them on a non-slip loop knot.